Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Every day there are countless books and articles that are published offering the key on how to make your business a success. It's easy to feel overwhelmed trying to keep up and run your business. That's why Deb Creer created the Business Power Hour. Keep up on the latest trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. Let the Business Power Hour do the heavy work for you.
Good morning, good morning. I am Deb Creer, and I am passionate about giving professionals the tools that they need to make themselves and their businesses as successful as possible. And we're going to deviate just a little bit today, but I tell you what, to me, music makes everything better, whether it's your business, whether it's your personal life, and it is, obviously, a business. And so we have a fabulous performer joining us today. And so please join me in welcoming Harvie S to our program. Welcome, Harvie. How are you?
Well, thank you. I feel very nice today. It's a beautiful day and a real pleasure to meet you, Deb. I've heard so many. I've listened to your podcasts and, oh, yeah, I checked them out and really great.
Thank you. Well, we're going to have such a fun discussion today, but let me tell people a little bit more about you before we jump into this. So Harvie S, he's actually so famous that he doesn't need his last name. Harvie S is a Harvie S is a renowned jazz bassist with a distinctive style and virtuosic technique. Throughout his illustrious career, Harvie has recorded with a plethora of jazz luminaries, including Michael Brecker, Paquito D'Rivera, Chuck Corea, Kenny Barron, John Scofield, Sheila Jordan, James Moody, Yusef Lateef. I don't think I said that right.
It's Lateef.
There we go, Lateef. Yusef Lateef. And now I know these guys, Manhattan Transfer, just to name a few, leaving an indelible mark on the global jazz scene. His dynamic bass lines and innovative approach to rhythm have earned him widespread acclaim among critics and audiences alike. He has released 21 recordings as a leader on major labels, 20 as a co-leader, and over 400 as a sideman. Harvie's musical versatility knows no bounds as he effortlessly traverses various jazz subgenres from traditional, Afro-Cuban, Brazilian to avant-garde, infusing each performance with his unique musical perspective. In addition to his prowess as a performer, Harvie is also a dedicated educator, sharing his wealth of knowledge and experience with aspiring musicians. So again, Harvie, welcome.
Wow. Thank you.
I know. Isn't it fun to hear our bios? It's one of those things where, we get to really brag on ourselves. And it's hard sometimes to do that. But you are incredible. And it's going to be such a great time talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit more about how it is that you reached where you are today.
Oh, well, that's quite a story, actually. And I'll try to make it short because it could get very long. But essentially, I don't know. I when I was 3 years old, I heard music on the radio, and then I went over to the piano and started just playing it.
Wow.
My parents didn't think that was anything, and they said I shouldn't play music because I was a male and only females play the piano. Mm-hmm. But I always really wanted, music was just something that resonated with me all the time. But, I played the piano, but I mostly played just what I heard on radio. I took some lessons, but I never practiced. And I never really loved the instrument that much, piano. But it was the only instrument. We had a piano that somebody down the street gave us, and we used that. So I always played the piano. And I went through high school as a terrible student, low grades. And I never really thought, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I'm not one of these people that had you know, parents that were supportive and people support. I had no one to support me. So I ended up, you know, as you know, I'm not that young. And I grew up, it was the Vietnam War. And I didn't want to go fight in the army, especially fight a bogus war like that.
Right.
And so, because I have a lot of respect for the military, but I didn't have any respect for that war.
Right.
And so I went to I said I better go to college. So I at the time my grades were very low, but I could get into the Berklee College of Music at that time. And my father was a paraplegic, and we lived on government checks.
Okay.
You know, and so but they paid my tuition, which wasn't that much then. You know, at that time it was like, I think it was $1,200 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And which they paid, and I was able to go to Berklee, and I started as a piano major. And then I decided in my first year, I said, you know, I really don't want to play piano. I don't love the instrument.
Right.
But I really love bass. And the thing is, when I was younger, because we were kind of a poor family, I had a very cheap, crappy stereo, and I never really could hear the bass on the stereo
because
the
it's
speakers.
bass.
Yeah, and there were little tiny little not good speakers. But there was a record that was called Waltz for Debbie, that was Bill Evans' trio, and for some reason, the way that was recorded, the bass, could hear the bass really well, and it was the bassist was one of, in my estimation, one of the greatest bassists ever. His name was Scott LaFaro, and unfortunately, he died at a very young age in an automobile accident. But when I heard him play, I realized, wait a minute, that's what I want to do. But I still stayed with the piano. But then I got into Berklee, and there was this guy named George something, and he had a bass that he was going to sell. So I bought the bass for $125, and 2 weeks later I was playing it, working on it. I was getting gigs.
Wow.
So the bass just came to me, and then I was but the problem was, I mean, this has been my story of my life. You know, Berklee didn't have any good bass teachers then.
Right.
Now they do. They have a great bass department now. But they didn't then. So I stayed as a composition major.
Okay.
With a piano minor. And I played bass as much as I could. And I was working a lot in bass, and I really worked very hard. I didn't watch television or go to a movie for over 3.5 years.
Wow.
Not even once. I basically would go to school, have to be there 9 a.m, most mornings, and then do my classes, go home, eat, and then go out to my gig, and I would get home at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd sleep till, oh yeah, that's the way it was then. Always late.
But you were young.
I was young, and then I would sleep 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and wake up 6 in the morning, and I'd practice for 3 hours on the bass, and then I would go to school all day, and I did that for 3.5 years. It took a real heavy toll. I mean, I did have, you know, hung out and had fun with people and did things. Yeah, just not like that's all I did, but that was basically it. So it was just working, and so then it came to my senior year at Berklee, and the bass player, there was a thing called the recording band, and it was the #1 band in school, the ultimate. And the bass player in that band was one of my heroes, a guy named George Mraz. To this day, one of my most favorite bass players. But he was, at the time, he's from Czechoslovakia.
Oh.
And he came in, and he graduated. When I was in my senior year, he was graduating, and he went off to play with Oscar Peterson. He became and played with all the famous people, and became one of the greatest bass players ever. But I was chosen to take his place.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't believe they said, you can do it. And I wasn't that skilled at the time. And I didn't read well, and had a lot of, I was very inexperienced. I'd only been playing the bass for a couple of years. But so I did that, and I said, maybe I've got a chance at doing this. So then there's like a whole long story of me. After I graduated, I ended up in Europe, just hanging. It's a long story, and I won't bore you with all that. But I did that. So then when I stayed in Europe, and then eventually I ran out of money, and I had to come home. So I came back, and I had nothing in my life. So I was going to take a job delivering newspapers in my mother's borrowed car. But then I got a chance to play in a rock and roll band, a cover band, playing electric bass, which I wasn't playing that much at the time. And I joined this band, and we worked a bit. I didn't make a lot of money, but I made enough. But I was still living in the basement of my parents' house. So,
a lot of musicians do that.
And then eventually I found an apartment with a bunch of musicians, but I was really struggling. I had very little money, and I stopped playing the acoustic bass. I was just playing the electric bass, bass guitar. But then a guy who I knew called me up, and I still have my a bass. He called me up and said, "Come on over and play, but don't bring that electric. Bring the acoustic." And I said, "Well, I haven't been playing." He said, "I don't care.
Real one.
Bring it." So I brought it, and I said, I got to get back into it. So then I'm back into practicing and but very little work, and I was flat broke. So through, I don't know how this happened, but that's what I'm saying. I must have some angel looking over at me. I started getting calls there were two major jazz clubs, the Jazz Workshop and Lenny's on the Turnpike. And they started to call me, not very much, because there wasn't much work, but to be like if you've heard of Mose Allison? Yeah. If Mose Allison came into town, I would play bass with him. And there was a singer, Chris Connor, and Al Cohn and Sue Sims. And when some certain bands came in, needed a bass player, I got the call for the Jazz Workshop and Lenny's on the Turnpike. So that was enough to, it was rough. So then I get a call from Lenny, and he was a really funny, crazy guy. And Lenny says, "Hey, Harvie," he says, "Stan Kenton," you've heard of Stan Kenton. He says, "Stan Kenton's in town, and he's auditioning bass players to sub for about a month because his bass player is leaving." So I not believing in myself, I said to him, "So Lenny, why are you calling me?"
Yeah.
And he said, he goes like this, "Be there."
Yes.
And hangs up on me.
You're
So
like, okay.
I went to the audition, and I got the gig.
Of course.
And I went on tour for a month with Stan Kenton. And after the month, Stan said to me, he says, "Oh, I really love the way you play, and I'd love to have you in the band, but you was just subbing." And I said,
My other guy's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back. I was subbing. He said, so then I'm back there now. Now I'm sitting around, and at that time I had real long hair and a beard, and I dressed like a hippie.
Right. Well, it was that time.
It was that time, and but it made it so nobody wanted to call me.
Okay. Because you looked like you were an unprofessional hippie.
Right. And I was getting very little work, and I was struggling. So then I was playing with a famous singer named Chris Connor at Lenny's on the Turnpike. And the piano player was a guy named Micah Benny, who was probably one of the greatest arrangers in the world and piano players. He's, and he was on the gig and he said to me, he says, Harvey, you should move to New York. And I said to him, you crazy? I'm not good
why?
enough. Why? I'm going like, I'm not good enough. He says, you move into New York. And he says, I have a gig for you with Jackie Paris and Anne Marie Moss. Jackie Paris, I don't know if you know him, but he was a really great jazz singer. And they made a documentary about him. So next thing I know, I got out of my apartment and I had no place to live. And we went to the Playboy Club in Great Gorge, New York, New Jersey. And there was a Playboy Club, which was fun. What
there
can
were
I
bunnies
say?
there.
I'm a young, and so I had a gig there for it was at least a month.
Okay.
And I didn't have a home, but I had this gig, so we stayed there for the month, and I played there with Jackie Paris and Emery Moss, and then when that gig ended, I moved to New York City, and I found this apartment in Queens, and I stayed there for a year. I'm making everything short, and then I moved into the city, and I had a loft, which now, like that's a real cool thing. But at the time, people didn't want to live in lofts.
No, they went ew, right? And which meant they were available.
Yeah, and I was living in a very funky old building on the third floor. My floor was kind of, like this, and it had a little heater, but it was 860 square feet. It was
that's pretty good size. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good size, and so I was living there. It ended up becoming like it's so funny. This is the old days. Like when I was going to move in, I figured I'm a musician. There's an apartment underneath me. I got to meet these people.
Right.
So
gotta explain what is going on.
So I knock on the door and I meet there, and I said, this guy answered. I said, "Excuse me, I'm possibly going to rent this place, but I got to let you know, I'm a musician, and if you're really sensitive to noise, I'm not moving in. I don't want to have any problems with you." So he looks at me and he says, "Who have you played with?"
So he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, he says. I said, "Well, I play with Lee Konitz now, and I was playing with a lot of big name people." And he said, "You can move in."
Okay.
So I moved in. We became very good friends, and I could tell a whole story about them, but I won't go into that. We had a pretty amazing relationship. Him and his wife was really cool. So they were great people. We became very close friends. So anyway, I lived there. So now I'm in New York. It's like my life. A lot of people plan their life. I plan nothing.
Right. You just kind of went where people told you to go.
That's how my life was, and so I lived there, and then basically there's so much things. I mean, look I went through the loft thing. I mean, I'm telling stuff that people don't know about.
Right.
I was gigging around New York, and I was living in now, first thing, people don't even know about this probably. When you live in a loft, you pay a fixture fee. You probably don't know about that.
No. What's a fixture fee?
Okay. You pay a fixture fee, which is, in other words, originally this place was just a blank space. Its first thing was illegal living.
Right.
I was living there illegally. And it was, it didn't have anything, probably didn't even have a bathroom.
Right. And
so
code? It would have, code?
No code. So somebody put in a bathroom. I had a bathtub, a shower, a toilet.
Big
of course,
time, yeah.
And I had a kitchen sink, and somebody put in a heater, because there was no heat. I had like a gas heater,
Like we said, no code.
Right, exactly. But it was a legal kind of heater. It was like, like a space, not a, natural
Not
gas.
exactly safe would have probably been.
I guess maybe it wasn't for me. But anyway, they charge. So the next people who move in, you pay them for the money they spent.
Oh, okay.
To put the
Updating
fixtures
it. Okay.
in.
Okay.
So then I went through the next phase where I bought a co-op.
Oh.
But it was a building. I mean, this is like, you understand, I'm a young guy and I was very little money. And
you were a true starving musician.
At that time, I was living that life. So this guy, Fred Zeller was his name. He somehow I met him through my neighbor downstairs, and what he was doing is he would buy a building and find people to invest in it, and they would get an apartment.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm going to make a lot of people very upset right now. I bought my loft for $10,000.
Oh, holy schmoly! Yep.
Now, had I had I held on to it,
oh yeah, I didn't. Millions now, I'm sure.
It was worth a couple of million, but I sold it when it was worth some. I made some money, enough money that I put a down payment on a house.
Okay.
So
this is good.
I was able. It got me because I moved out of the city and bought a house. But that got me that. But I really had to pioneer this building. Like, it was originally a sweatshop. And my apartment was a disaster. I had to get rid of all these old machines that were in there. And the people who had been in there before had punched holes in the wall and threw their garbage in it.
Oh.
So we had to get people, inexpensive people to kind of. I hired these people to clean it out, and we had to sand the floors. I mean, I had to do everything. So we did.
It was the original fixer upper.
Beyond, and after we finally got it set up, we had a huge problem with rats.
Oh, of course, it's New York.
And I am talking. I would open up my cabinet, especially at night, and I'd see 100 rats in there in my cabinet, and I could hear them. There were tin ceilings, and I heard the rats go.
Yep.
I mean, it was like. So I
But you loved it. I bet you loved it.
As such. I mean, I have 1,000 stories, but I won't get it. But I'm just telling the rat story. So I knew somebody that helped me out. I went up to Harlem, and I bought a 20-pound bag, which is illegal for me to buy. But in those days, you could do anything. I bought a 20-pound bag of rat poison.
Oh.
And every morning, I would, or every night, I should say, I put a bowl, like a cereal bowl of rat poison under the sink. And wake up in the morning, it was gone.
Yep. But then you'd have bodies.
No bodies, because what this rat poison does, it makes them extremely thirsty.
So they left.
And they all go for water.
Okay.
They go for to be with the water. So after about a month, we didn't have any rats, except there was one rat that was living in there. And I couldn't get rid of this guy.
Did you name it? Did you give it a name?
No. Oh. I wanted him out.
You were not going to get attached to him.
No way. So I went and bought it. I went and got a cat. And I said I went to the pound, and I said, I want the meanest, nastiest cat.
I need a big ratter.
So they gave me this cat. This cat would have nothing to do with the rat. had no interest in it at all.
He's probably afraid of it.
This cat was and this cat was really a mean, nasty cat. But when it came to the rat, it wasn't interested.
Yeah.
So I had to get rid of the rat. So I said, I bought a rat trap. This thing was so smart. It ate the cheese off the rat.
It was able to pick it.
So I said, I'm going to get the rat. So what I did was I took 2 rat traps, put them next to each other. So he got the first one and had his confidence up. The second one.
Got him.
Then we were done with the rat. Later on, we got mice, but we were happy to have mice because
they're so much littler.
You don't. No, if you have mice, you don't have rats.
This is true. They do not coexist.
So we had an area. Some mice came in. You just dealt with it. So anyway, that was the loft thing. It was it was completely illegal living. I had to bribe people. I had to. It went on and on. So anyway, how did I get? So this is my life, Then I used to do a lot of studio work, movies, jingles, and a lot of I was recording with James Brown. I was doing a lot of studio work, but I was starting to tour, and so that's my life. I could go into detail. I don't think your listeners want to hear all of it. So that's it. But I didn't come an easy path.
Right.
And it wasn't easy when I was there. And then I ended up, like I said, moving out 3 different houses outside the city. And then 2014, my wife passed away from cancer. And I moved. Now I live in the Bronx, and I'm remarried, and quite happy, I have to say. Lucky
Yay.
and happy. Yeah, and my wife is a really fine pianist.
Okay.
And we have 3 CDs out together, and we toured Japan every year, and so it's been good. So that I've had a kind of a crazy life, and I'm only telling you about 2% of all the
I bet
insanities. But I do have a podcast out. It's called Harvie S On Tap.
Okay.
And I tell a lot of my stories. And I just did 2 episodes, which are not out yet. But I have I talked about the night that we had the big I was in a robbery. I was in a big situation where I had to break a bear. Where I was hitting somebody over the head with a bottle. So to save someone's life.
There's gonna be a movie made of you. I can tell. I can tell.
Oh, I don't know about that, but thank you. But anyway, so that's been my
I love
my
it.
thing.
I love it. And all along you just kept playing. And I remember, I don't know how old I was when I saw my first bassist. And I remember thinking, ooh, cool dude. I mean, right? They're back to right? But in many cases, the bass is kind of the foundation, the under part of the music. But you have it as the main voice. And so how has that come about that, the music from the bass is actually what is the feature of the music?
Well, that's a very, very good question. Through my career, I'd mostly, use the bass. It's an accompanying instrument.
Right.
And, but I love that. Because you become an architect of structure,
right,
under the band, and I studied Afro-Cuban, Brazilian, funk, and jazz, and free playing. So I have a lot of different styles that I go in, and but I decide, I made 20 records as a leader. And I featured myself a little bit, And I decided, well, now's the time, I think, in my life that I really want to be the melodic instrument totally. Not totally, because in the record, it isn't all bass melodies. It's but I do some arco, which is bowing, and I play some pizzicato. But then there's some of the melodies are being played by the guitar or the piano. So it isn't all like that. So I don't want people to say, oh, I don't want to listen to a whole record of bass playing melodies. It's really not like that. But I really feel at this point I can express myself really well doing that. And I got to say, the reviews I've gotten really were way beyond my expectations. I can't believe how much how people have really so positively responded to what I'm doing.
Right.
Where I was worried they were probably going to hate it. So yeah. So, but that, but I still, of course, play the bass, as a functional instrument. I make a joke about the bass. I say to the bass, we're like janitors.
You gotta
we
have them.
Exactly. But we have to keep the time together. We have to keep the form together. We, when we have to do and usually with the bass, anything goes wrong, they blame the bass. And it's the same kind of thing, like where I teach at the Manhattan School of Music. I've been there for over 45 years.
Wow.
And the people I'm not that, I don't talk to the teachers that much, but I'm got very friendly with all the janitors there.
Right, because they are the foundation. You know how
And
important they are.
Whenever I need something, they are there. And I talk with them, and I said, janitors are like bass players because, they do their job and nobody says anything to them. But if there's a big spill or something, now hey, you gotta clean this up.
Then we absolutely need that janitor. Yep.
Same thing with the bass, like I'll do the gig all night. I'll play, really back up the band beautifully. They won't say anything, they won't say anything negative, but they don't say anything. It's like it's just a given. But if something goes wrong,
yeah, then it's
dragging,
all you.
You're rushing. They're like, hey, you're too loud. You're too soft. So that, but that's the nature of it.
I love it. Well, as you do have a new album out, it's called Bright Dawn, and we're going to play an example in just a minute. But tell us, why did you decide you needed a new album? I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about that, but tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, the last record I made as a leader was around 2010. But since then, I released a record. I actually released 2 other records, but they were from older things. One was a thing with Mike Stern, who's played with Miles Davis. It was done in 1983 or 85. And I put that out, and it was called Harvie S Trio, and that was on a real good label, High Note Savant. And then I put out a duo record with Kenny Barron, and then I put out a bunch of collaborations. A crazy little group I had with a guitarist named Cheryl Bailey, who's fabulous, and it was called Plucky Strum. And the reason I called it Plucky Strum is the bass plucks and the guitar strums.
Yep, this is true.
So I called it Plucky Strum, and we made 2 records and did a lot. So that came out, and then I did a couple of records with a great guitarist named Ronnie Ben-Hur, and they were, we co-led 2 records, and so things came out. But now I hadn't made anything really new as a total leader.
Okay.
And that's Bright Dawn. And then I actually, Cheryl Bailey, who was in Plucky Strum, I did a quartet record that she led. And the pianist on it was a phenomenal pianist named Miki Hayama. She's from Japan. And when I did, and we did it around 2018 or something. So when I did that record, I really remembered her. And I said, you know, when I make a record, she's got to be on it. So I asked her to make the record. And then I was lucky to get, these were all my first choice people, to get the incredible Matt Wilson, who's also a band leader, but one of the most interesting drummers and so musical. And on guitar is, in my estimation, the greatest jazz guitarist in the world right now. And a lot of people will agree with me. His name is Peter Bernstein. He's like, you know, it's just a miracle I got him. He's so booked up and working all over the world. He's the most busy guitar player, but he was able to do
He
it.
wanted to work with Harvie.
Well, we had played, everyone in the band I had played with and recorded with, but never together. So I put together this quartet, and as I knew they would, they was so perfect. So I was, you know, I was really lucky. And
I love it. Yeah. Well, we're going to share a song called Voice in the Sky. Is there a story behind it?
Actually, I hate to say it, not a big story. But
so it wasn't that inspiration hit you in the middle of the night?
No, but this tune, it's like, it's a little out of my normal. It's kind of a rock ballad, and it's out of Peter Bernstein's normal too. But what we do is, what's interesting is we divide the melody up. So I play the melody, he plays the next melody, and the melody's divided in threes. So on the first chorus, I take a solo on the areas that he just played. On the second chorus, he takes a solo on the areas, the other areas. So he ends up soloing on all the chord changes, but over two choruses. And then the last chorus, the melody comes out opposite. So he plays the melody that I started with, and we do it. And then at the end, we don't leave Mickey out. Mickey, the pianist, she plays a thing at the end. So it's kind of a thing, and it's not a jazz swing tune. It's like a rock ballad.
Right.
But
it is. It's very unique. I love it.
Thank you. So you'll play it. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So join us now, folks. We're gonna take our faces off. But yeah, join us now in listening to this great song.
I got a little political on this record.
Okay.
Not the way you think I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
My grandparents are from Russia,
Okay.
and they're from Odessa, which is now Ukraine.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of a Russian Ukrainian,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I had been following the news of a gentleman who, what I think of as a superhero,
Mm-hmm.
and his name was Alexei Navalny,
Mm-hmm.
and he went up against Putin, and the first thing Putin did to him was he fed him radioactive material and almost killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And second, and he somehow survived, then went back to Russia and was trying to run against him, and the people were really going behind him. So Putin arrested him, put him in jail, and he was in jail, and then they killed him. He was poisoned. So it's a really sad story, but he was a brave person. Now his
Very
wife,
brave.
yes, his wife is going all around the world giving speeches and talking about stuff. So anyway, I was very moved by him. So I wrote a piece called Navalny, and that's on the recording. And it's not really a jazz tune also. So that was one of the things. So like the tunes do have a lot of meaning for me. Like the opening tune is called Ghosts of Havana. And that was, I went down and lived in Cuba for 2 weeks and studied. But Cuba is like, because of all that's happened, like this, they all the buildings are kind of old and falling apart. All the cars are from the 50s. And so I call it Ghosts of Havana because everything looked like it's kind of a ghost.
Right.
So I wrote that when I got, it's recorded on another recording, but I did a whole new version of it. And it's called, Ghosts of Havana. I wrote it when I got back from Cuba. And then on the recording, I have to look and remember names. Well, Devil May Care is just an old standard, and I just wanted to play the melody on that. I love it. And I wrote a song for my wife. Her name is Yukimi, and I wrote a song called Yukimi's Song, which the tune sounds very cute and pretty, but it's very complicated.
Sometimes those are. They're the hardest ones.
I told her that, and she said, "Yeah, I guess you know me." And I did a tune called Humpty Dumpty, which was written by Chick Corea, and it was from his children's songs book, but it's a very complicated tune, and I wanted to do it because a lot of bass players do this song. It's kind of a proving ground. So I said, okay, let's see if I can do it. So I did that, and then a song called The Truth, which I wrote. I worked with this singer named Sheila Jordan, who was a National Endowment, jazz endowment singer. One of the greatest jazz singers ever. And I played with her for on and off for 50 years, and I made a lot of recordings. We recorded, we played bass and voice, just the two of us. That's a lot of in my podcast, in Harvie S On Tap. I talk a lot about her. She passed away recently at 96.
Wow.
Yeah, she made it to 96. So anyway, and she was singing right up to the end. So I wrote this song. We were going to do it. She grew up with a gentleman by the name of Barry Harris. Now, Barry Harris, you may not know him, but in the jazz world, he's like one of the icons, one of the greatest jazz pianists ever. And and he taught everybody. He was just one of the most important people in jazz. but he was the most honest, and all he cared about was the truth. So I wrote the song for called "The Truth" for this concert we were doing as a dedication dance.
Ah.
And it was actually recorded on a Jerry Bergonzi record, and it was also just recorded on a James Weidman record, which is not coming out yet. It's still not out. So I wanted to do this song as a dedication to Barry, and I wanted to put it on the recording. And I since I don't sing, I wanted to sing on the bass. So that was that, and Navalny was the same. It was like singing on the bass with the bow, trying to be the human voice.
Oh, I
with
love
no
that.
lyrics. So that's on the, and then I ended the record with a song called "Swithering." Now, swithering is a Scottish word
Okay.
that means to hesitate.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like, and so I wrote this piece where we did it as a trio with me, Mickey, and Matt. And the whole concept is Mickey plays the tune rubato. Now, rubato means not in time. I know you know, but a lot of people may not know. So she just kind of plays it at her own pace.
Okay. Like,
And
just there by herself.
And I have to follow her. But we kind of follow her, but there's so much hesitation. And so it's like that. And it really came out great. It has a kind of a, oh, wow. Someone said to me, oh, wow, you didn't fix anything. It's not perfect. And that's the whole concept.
It's not perfect.
And it's meant not to be perfect. So that we ended the tune with swithering. So that was it. And the cover photo, which you've shown there, I have to talk very quickly about that. Is my wife and I went to Portugal for a little vacation about 6 months ago, and she has a really professional camera, and she's got a good eye. So I said, I need an album cover. Let's take pictures. So she took like hundreds of pictures. And we came down to about 4 or 5 that were really good. So I sent them to the label, and I said, pick the one you like. So that's the picture they picked.
I love it.
So it was very nice having my wife do the photo. And the other photo is that they used are done by another close friend, my friend Nick Carter. And Nick's a great photographer, but he's also, we have things that we do together. He's one of my bike riding buddies, and we both love pizza. So we go out to eat pizza together, and sometimes we invite a whole bunch of people, and we have what we call pizza night. So he's my good buddy. And then Friday, because he's done me a lot of favors, Friday I'm taking him out we're going to Johnny's Pizza.
I know. Hey, we've got Johnny's Pizza here, and I think it's the same Johnny's. I know.
That's the best pizza.
It is definitely New York style.
Yes, maybe you have a Johnny's. I didn't know there was one down there, but we're going to Johnny's Pizza in Mount Vernon. Yeah, because there's one in New York. You know, maybe there's one down there. But anyway, but I always refer to him. I said, well, you know, I won't go to a pizza place unless he tells me it's good.
Right. He's the critic for you.
He's the pizza guy. So anyway, he did the photos. One of them is a picture of me in the back, and it was done in his apartment, and the other was done on my roof in my building with the whole band.
I love it.
I try to keep it all in the family.
Right. So, did you release, we're going to talk old school here for a second. Is it actually released as an album, a true vinyl?
No, we didn't do vinyl.
Okay.
It's just on CD and all digital outlets.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazing how vinyl with the younger generation is coming back. And I think one of the things that they are discovering is how different it sounds.
Oh, it's definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
I have a turntable
Mm-hmm.
and I listen to vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've been on a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
vinyl recordings.
Right.
And right now I'm in the process of a new vinyl going to be coming out. It's the I told you that I work with Sheila Jordan, and if you want to go on Harvie S On Tap, you'll really learn a lot about her. And in 1983, when we just started this, we had this bass and voice duo. We toured for like 15 years, went all over the world. Just the two of us. We did a concert in Quebec, and after the concert, this is over 40 years ago. After the concert, they gave me the reel-to-reel tapes, and I just kept them. I never listened to them. I never listened to them because I didn't have a machine
Right.
that could play 10-inch.
Right. Those were big machines. These were not cassettes, folks.
No, that's for sure. So after Sheila passed away, I decided to see what was on those tapes. So it's the weirdest thing. Like another one of my biking buddies, I put up a thing on Facebook. Does anybody have a 10-inch reel? And the day before, I was biking with my friend Brian, and he sends me a message. I have one. It's the weirdest thing. So anyway, Brian transferred everything to digital, and I listened to it, and I said, "Oh my God, it's amazing." So there's a label called Dot Time Records, and I sent him a little sample. He says, "We got to put this out."
Yeah.
So it's going to come out in vinyl, and it's going to come out in a CD, and it'll be on the digital outlets. And that's with myself and Sheila Jordan. And we're doing two tribute. We're doing a night at Dizzy's, which we did one tribute already, but we're doing one a year later. We're doing one in November, and we're doing another tribute concert to Sheila in Cambridge, Mass, also in November. So we're doing a couple of things, and the CD's going to come out then, and the vinyl.
We'll have you on again and talk about it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I'd like to do. I didn't really get into the whole Sheila Jordan thing, but I get.
Yeah, that'll be good to have you on again to talk specifically about that, because it is very different when it is just a vocalist and the bass. It is very different.
Oh yeah, we were kind of the pioneers of that. So I don't say we were the only one, but everyone considers us to be like the standard for bass and voice, and so I'm very proud of that. And yeah, so that's a nice thing. So I would be on some vinyl coming up, and but yes, I love vinyl, and vinyl is outselling CDs.
Right. Well, and the thing with vinyl is there are imperfections, right? You get the scritchy, you get the all of those things, but that's what makes it real. And I think in this whole world of AI and all of those things, we want to hear that, right?
You want something real. I mean, young kids look at AI. I don't put AI down because I like it naive.
It has its use.
But this thing of that they're making AI music. It almost sounds like something, but those who really know music will immediately, I listen to it. I say that's AI.
Right, because it's perfect. I mean, that's, and I suppose they could tell it to make mistakes, but yeah, there's, to me, it's like, people telling stories and images, all those things. It needs that human soul. And that's what really makes it real. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I love all the Star Trek things.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the episodes, they had Data, who was the android. He was playing a concert. He was playing his violin. And afterwards, they were all gushing and everything. And he said, no, no. And they were like, well, what was wrong with it? And he said, I play perfectly. He said, what makes it music, and I'm obviously paraphrasing, but he said, what makes it music are the imperfections.
Yeah. Well, any great art,
Mhm.
like,
Right.
like I found out about the Mona Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't completed.
No, no. And he didn't even really like it. I mean, it was like, eh.
And Van Gogh
Mhm.
never sold a painting in his life.
No, he certainly didn't live off of his art. And but yeah, it is the imperfections, and that's what makes all of us real, right? We might cough in the middle of a podcast, whatever it is, it's the imperfections that make it what is best.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like in jazz, yeah, like in classical music, if you make a mistake, you might as well,
Right.
you're
Oh,
dead.
yes.
You're
Yes.
dead. But
But yeah, jazz, you want the scat. You want all of that you never quite, like you said, you're not quite sure what they're going to do.
well, Coleman Hawkins,
Mhm.
one of the most important jazz people of all time, his quote is,
Mhm.
if you don't make any mistakes, you're not trying.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, Miles Davis
Mm-hmm.
told his band, and this is the band with Ron Carter and Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter, the greatest musicians ever.
Right.
He said to them, I don't pay you to play.
Mm-hmm.
I pay you to practice
Yes. Mm-hmm.
on stage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It's when it's perfect, whether it's a stage performance or a musical performance, then you're kind of doing it by rote, right? Because your mind should wander a bit, and you might think, "Ooh, what if I tried this?" All of those various things, and that's what truly gives it the heart and the soul.
Yeah, I mean, this perfection thing, it's going on in jazz, because they'll record in separate booths, and so any instrument, and they can auto tune any instrument. So if a note is out of tune, you fix it. If it's everything is done, and I put these kind of records on, and I can listen to it one time,
Right.
and that's it. I'm finished with it. I'm very happy to say that I I'm also a recording engineer. I don't know if we got into that, but I recorded 3 trio records with the great Alan Broadbent. He's a Grammy winner and nominated 14 times. I recorded 3 CDs in his home. We were in the same room, so you couldn't fix anything.
Right.
And I'm very happy with these recordings. They're not 100. I listened to the recording. I said, "Oh, did I do that?" And I'm saying, I hear it, but then I realized nobody else hears it.
And it adds to it. I mean, that's the thing. It didn't detract, it added to it.
So yes, in this world of AI and perfection, it gets boring. It's interesting. Like years ago, I went to the museum to see. They brought in King Tut and all this Egyptian stuff, and they had all this stuff, the art, and and I looked at it. It wasn't perfect, but boy, was it beautiful.
I know. That's the imperfection is, and maybe the thing, and you mentioned traveling to Japan. The thing they do where, if they have a pottery piece, and it breaks, they don't throw it away. They mend it, and they mend it with gold, because that's what makes it even more beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's I hadn't actually heard that. I like that. But yeah, it just fixing something. Nowadays, it's like, oh, something breaks, throw it away.
Throw it away.
But sometimes you can fix it, and if something's broken, it's okay. And same with music. I mean, when it's glaringly messed up, then I'm gonna fix it.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
admit,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
But essentially, I really don't want to
Mhm.
fix things.
Mhm.
I just want things to
Mhm.
be natural and
Mhm.
beautiful. And to me,
Mhm.
it, I don't know. To me, beauty is, the expression beauty is in the eyes of the
Mhm.
beholder.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's really, but perfection is
Mhm.
not always beautiful.
No, especially not in music, because you're right. It's going to be boring. Our ears are almost listening for those imperfections, so that then we know it's real.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So yeah, they're good. We're on the
Mhm.
same page. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. Well, oh my gosh, Harvie, this has been
Yeah,
so
I know
much
we're at
fun.
the end.
I know. And so, we will obviously have you on again, but we'll have a link to your website. I'll link to your podcast in the show notes. But if somebody is like, I have got to have Bright Dawn, I've got to have some of your other, where is the best place for
Just come
people
to
to
my website. You
Okay.
can buy Bright Dawn on the website.
Perfect.
And there's a lot of other CDs
Okay.
for sale, and
Great.
you can read about everything. It's all there, and you can get to the Harvie S On Tap.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you, PJ.
Yes, our friend PJ is who connected us, and we love PJ.
He's the best.
So, but yeah. Well, oh my gosh, Harvie, I'm so sad that we are done, and so I truly am looking forward to the next time that we chat. But do you have
Me
any?
too.
Yeah. Do you, and I might just have to make a trip to see you perform sometime.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But do you have any final thoughts that you want to leave everyone with?
Well, live music is a great thing. Go try to see live music. Don't be just watching it on the internet. And I just want to thank Deb for inviting me for this, power hour, because, I said, wow, I'm not like one of the big executives that they're just a jazz bass player, but I was treated so beautifully here and made to feel so important. And I think this is a great podcast, and I enjoy. I've listened to some, and I'm getting a lot out of it too. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And Harvie, you are not just a jazz bassist. You're not, no. But I am Deb Creer. I've been having so much fun talking with Harvie S. And until next time, everyone have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Tune in for our next program for even more trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. The Business Power Hour, hosted by Deb Creer, is proud to be part of the C-Suite Network.